Hi guys, and welcome back. My name is Antonio Seri, from crrntn.com. Continuing the series Hollywood movie title, today we realize the Avengers animation.
The Avengers were born.
In this tutorial we will create the logo in Cinema 4D. We will proceed with the application of materials. Finally, we will do the compositing in After Effects, to add flare and sparks to create lighting effects, and reveal the logo. Import the file The Avengers Start in Cinema. This logo was designed using as reference the last frame of video of the movie trailer. We need to draw, first, the inside path. Later, with the instrument offset letter by letter we obtain the outer concentric paths. Paths have been renamed and organized separately in order to animate individual letters of the logo. With the same procedure, I drew the start emblem of the Avengers logo. The unit of thickness is from 0.25 to 0.7. We open the control panel and set the parameters of our project. 24 frames per second, and length of the project, 730 frames. I added a reference axis to center the logo in the center of the scene. Insert a camera. We reset all the parameters except the Z position, -1920. To make an impact widescreen we set the render settings panel with HD widescreen parameter. All frames, anti-aliasing on best. Here's how you see the letters of the logo, and the start emblem. Insert Extrude NURBS tool in the inside part. Activate Hierarchical. Insert a depth of 0.01, to eliminate the depth of the letters and put the caps. Caps, fillet caps, step 5, radius 8. To soften the outlines of the logo, we set angle from 5 to 0. Activate the check constraint, and finally reduce the depth of the caps, putting on Z-scale value of 0.5. View the result. Duplicate the whole group, and rename 1 and 3. These two groups will help us to the front and back logo. OK, let's proceed with the central body of the logo. Select the outside part and insert Extrude tool. Apply depth to 45. And fillet caps with steps and radius to 5. We place the frontal one from the central body, entering on Z-5. Improve the profile. And we place the back part, with Z-50. I forgot in the extrude of central part check constrain. This is our logo. For me it is good. Rename to, and insert it between the caps of the letters. To separate and rename the layer, press the C key on the keyboard. This step is very important, because choosing the individual layers, and grouping, we obtain automatically pivot to the center of the letter. This saves us a lot of time. This step is very simple, and required a few minutes. I show you how make it, on the S letter. Rename S, and repeat the same procedure on all the other letters. Delete the layers that are not needed. This is our logo, ready to be animated. Repeat the same procedure for emblem. We set the frames on the timeline for the animation sequence from 609 to 670. Select all the letters, and in the H rotation, activate 90 degrees. Reset in the frame 670. We improve the rotation of the letter A, entering 96. If we want to bring the letter A to the logo, just move the pivot along the X-axis. Perfect. OK, we proceed with the opening of the group's later layers, for the next step setting animation. During the animation will be a change in the depth of the letters. Follow me on video. From 45 to 001. Select all back cap behind of the logo. And in Coordinates panel, in 609 and 670 frame, active, the value, 70. And finally, on the 670 frame, insert on Z position, the value, -22. Cool. This is the main feature of the logo animation and creates an incredible optical illusion. During the first part of the animation we'll animate the emblem, which has a Z position closest to the camera. Follow on video by entering the coordinates. The correct position of the camera is from -1920 to -2520. To connect the emblem, start the letters of the logo, insert, on H rotation, -90 degrees. In this way, we have the animation of emblem logo, where the lights appear. And from the frame 609, we have the fade out of emblem start and fade in and rotation of letters of the logo. Set the timeline between 609 and 610. We make all the F-curves in linear mode. To improve the animation between the emblem start and letters of the logo, insert a tag display on visibility, to make present the emblem until the frame 609 and the letters from the frame 610. As we can see with this simple step, our animation has its sequential logic. Okay, let's save our file with the suffix animation. During the first part of the animation, behind the start emblem, there will be some halo light alternating with small particles explosions. This simple sequence fly-in does not correspond with that of the original movie. Rename the layer with the suffix v1, and duplicate, for the version v2. I show you on video the correct coordinates that make the light explosion synchronized with the position of the logo and emblem, with the original audio file. The frames reference of the halo light and sparks explosion are frame 2. Under the logo. In frame 47, to the left. To right, in frame 147. Frame 325, with a speed sequence around the logo. In the frame 391, the glow that reveals the start Avengers emblem. From frame 570, after the crossed rotation, between letters of the logo and emblem. Finally, in 611 frame, we have the last halo light, that accompanies the Avengers logo. To complete our logo, insert the text "the". Open the start file, and within the emblem group, we find our "the" path. Copy and paste in the main project, and apply and extrude. Depth 0.2. And Z position, -9. In this way, is perfectly aligned with the frontal surface of the start cap. We can stick out a bit, by inserting 9.01. To see the result, first apply a simple white material. Obviously, to match it in the animation of rotation, drag it within the group of the letter A. Perfect. We can improve the extrusion profiles of the A letter, changing the angle value from 0 to 6, in caps, and in the central body to 3. Cool. Proceed with the light and materials. These are the textures used in this project. Leather bump, noise 01 and 02, also used on Transformer 3, and scratched steel, used on 4. To simplify the understanding of the use of materials, in this tutorial the file light and materials is complete, with animation of parts that make the logo. OK, open the file light materials. The first interesting material needed to achieve the black leather, with the bump channel, actived at 5. Blue-black color. Specular, and with the basic setup. To make dirty and scratched, the skin material, overlapping dirt noise, and scratch texture. You will see that result. To highlight the bevel of the caps we can apply a chrome base material, or you can use more dark version. This chrome version, which has a base Fresnel gradient. For the sky I have created a material with layer on environment channel. They are composite for 2 gray gradient, in overlap soft light mode, to create a reflection effect on the top and bottom surfaces of the emblem and Avengers logo. This is our sky. Let's see how the materials were applied on the letter A. In the cap end, was applied to a black flat, because it is not relevant in this animation. In the central body, we have included the chrome material with selection, R1, to be placed only on the bevel. In the rest of the body, I applied the black flat texture. It's important to understand the disposition on the start cap of the logo. We have a base with leather material, to make it the surface more interesting, is possible apply with the overlap, dirt noise, and scratched FX. We make a render. Obviously with the selection on, C1. Length U and V, to 200. Thus there are only on the front cap. We analyze how we applied the system of lights. As we can see, I inserted 3 area lights. 2 placed top and bottom, present along the length of the logo, with an angle of 45 degrees from the center of the scene. And 1 area light, frontal, with a blue light color, to create the light gradient on the front top of the logo. The decision to include the 2 area lights, over and under the scene, are needed to create the wonderful effect of light that moves on the bevel of the logo. Of course, the system of application of the materials on the all layers letters is always repeated, in the same step, but, you have to change the positions of offset U and V. For the dirt noise and scratch texture, you set as you like. In order to obtain an overall interesting effect, and dynamic positioning. View the render result. Wow! Very, very nice. The final result of materials and lights is very cool. Oh yes, is very good the impact. I forgot, you can increase the intensity of the lights, at your leisure, to get the result with the glare intensity that you like. Into Start Emblem V2, has been applied the same principle and application of systems lights, and materials. The only difference, is that during its movement, the two area light up and down, from frame 0 to frame 570, are in constant rotation movement, as I said before, serves to create a wonderful dynamic lighting on the bevel. Believe me, in the final result, this effect is perfect for this animation. Now, apply into layer, the tag display. With check on, divisibility. This to create the right fade opacity, during rotation of the letters. Activate 670 keyframe to 100, and then, we go to the 627 frame, and insert 0. OK. As you can see, the opacity of the during rotation follows in gradual mode. This step can be animated and controlled also in After Effects, in post-production with a separate layer. You can create a custom version of this animation, creating a fly and linear logo sequence movement, with halo lights and sparks explosions, until completing with final revelation of the logo. Surely, the result will be very good. For complete the descriptions of the details of the materials, is very important. Remember were included some interpolations, to make the position and rotation of letters, much like the original video. To make understand this, follow me on video. Into black leather material, was applied, to the specular parameter, height, on interpolation, from 0 to 50, from frame 630 to frame 660. While the dirt and scratched materials, in color panel, we see another interpolations, from a black color, to a medium gray. All this just for the letters of the logo. While for the symbol Start Emblem, we have no materials with dynamic parameters. OK, we can proceed with the rendering to continue working in After Effects. The renderings required for this project are: we have the full logo, the base flat black, for the Start Emule. I will explain after, his important use. The mask with the bevel cap Start Frontal. The Start Emblem Full. The mask with the bevel cap End, to define the profile of the fade-in of the letters of the logo. With the same technique, we need the Start Emblem cap Start and End, and the suffix the. halo light and sparks explosion. We will see them in detail later to see how they were created. Okay. We import everything into After Effects. Drag the Start Emblem black flat to create the base of our project. We'll render two groups of videos, those for the Start Emblem and those for the letters of the logo. This will work on the interested part and not waste time with split layers. Stretch the composition from 120 to 240 frames. Drag the Start Emblem full, above the flat black layer. Enter the letters of the logo to complete the full sequence until frame 240. For the Start Emblem, I rendered, of the entire sequence only the most important part. That is 490 to 609. From frame 609 to 730, for the letters of the logo The Avengers. Okay, let's start with the first preset for the black flat of the Start Emblem. Also in this case, to simplify the identification of the correct preset, I use two separate colors. In this preset has been applied a simple choker to reduce the thickness of the black base, and a fill color strictly black. Because it is important that at the beginning, with the backlighting of the halo light, the emblem is full black in the foreground. Enter the second preset always for the Start Emblem. As we can see, we have an exposure value of 2 and 0.8. I added a sequence of opacity. That's the purpose of black flat layer. When the logo has a low opacity, transparent, the black flat base, allowing that it appear, with a cool eclipse effect. We apply the preset logo letters full. Here are tritone, with a setting of blue color to give a hue darker blue, to the color of the logo Avengers. There is also an animated sequence of exposure, which regulates the presence of better lighting in the front of the logo, during rotation of the letters. Add a duplicate layer letters full logo, without effects applied. And insert a second preset for the logo letters. Here we find the mask with value of feather, to 19. This overlap improves the color of the gradient on the frontal part. Obviously, you can control everything with animated frames of opacity, but, after, you understand, because I left his constant presence. Drag the suffix layer, the, and set its presets. As I said in cinema, with a sequence of opacity, and setting the fill color, you get a more precise result. Now, add a duplicate of the start emblem layer, overall, and show you a technique to create a good bevel highlights in After Effects. Insert emblem start cap layer, in add mode, and set the track matte, on Luma. In this way, we extracted from the base of the start emblem, only the outline of the bevel. Okay, now comes the cool part. We apply the CC Light Sweep preset. This light effect has been set up with an animation sequence of rotation. From 41 to 180 degree. With value at the center, to 200. Finally, a fade in and out on opacity to control everything. If your cap has too thickness, I add the simple choker effect, but is disabled now, can be useful. Adds to the emblem symbol, a great impact. We complete the logo emblem, with the cap end layer in add mode. And I applied a sequence on opacity that regulates its presence, with a fade in at the end, with a maximum value, 50. Repeat the same procedure on the letters of the logo, overlapping cap start and end layers in the add mode. To improve the logo, creating the illusion of contours illuminated during the rotation of the letters. Import the presets, and analyze the details. On cap end, is important to set the opacity to 100, to start from frame 122. Just to define the start outline, because after it fades automatically, and is already present in the rendered video from cinema. On cap start, we have a mask that takes only the central part of the logo, which together with the layer mask of the gradient, creates a fantastic effect of definition of the edges of the letters of the logo. Simple, and very useful. We complete the letters of the logo Avengers, with the last logo full layer, above all the layers. Set it, in Silhouette Luma mode. This overlapping mode regulates all the parameters that were setted, giving a more natural color. We can adjust this effect with choice of opacity value that you want. I set a value 50. I love it. OK. Here we are almost at the end. Apply the last layer, halo light, and spark explosion. The blue dark color of the logo in foreground, with the lights and the particles explosion in background, makes the incredible result. Follow me, I'll show you how I made this FX. The sequence is complete, add the audio file and you can proceed with the rendering. OK, open the halo light file. The main comp is composed of 3 pre-comp, which have 3 different functions. The halo lights, the mask for the particles, and the particle explosions. The base of the halo effect is a fractal noise, in horizontal arrangement, with a vertical slow movement. I applied an expression that regulates the movement automatically, with the script parameter, time, on offset turbulence, and on evolution, for the micro movements. If we set the time values above 20 and 33, the speed will increase gradually. The secret is to animate the masks dynamically. On it you get always different effects. It's great. Disabled the masks, to show you step by step as all effects are connected with each other. All these effects using the basic settings, with very few parameters changed, very easy to customize. The CC glass transforms the fractal noise in a glossy surface and liquid. We emphasize with the use of the shine, with a color that reminds that of the logo Avengers. The levels and curves increase the contrast black and white. In this case, we need more white. The simple choker is used to control the volume of the light. Finally, the glow effect, creating the final magic. You can experiment to get the final effect you want. For me this is okay. As you know, have been added particles explosions. I started from the setting that I used on Captain America. You can control multiple explosions on the same layer solid. You set and make active all the keyframes parameters of position and distribution. I added a radial blur effect to give the sensation of speed on the movement of particles. Finally, with a duplicate layer of the halo light precomp, without color saturation, and with a larger scale from the original layer, we can with track matte, set, alpha. In this way, automatically create a perfect mask to fade the particles on our scene. Here is the result of our project.
The Avengers were born.
Great. Very, very cool. I remind you the next appointment for the realization of the movie title, The Dark Knight. Another incredible animation. I hope this tutorial has been to your liking. By Antonio Seri, happy holidays, and happy new year.